Okay, let's get right into it. We're talking about one of the most dramatic, most terrifying emergencies that can happen inside the human body, a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm. This isn't just some medical issue you read about. It is a full-blown crisis. The moment it happens, a clock starts ticking, and every single second becomes a desperate fight for survival.
So what exactly is this? Well, think of your aorta as the body's main superhighway for blood. It's this massive vessel coming from your heart supplying everything. An aneurysm is like a weak spot in the road, a dangerous bulge in the wall of that highway. Now, as long as it just sits there, it can be watched, it can be monitored. Because eventually the pressure inside that weakened wall can become just too much, and when it gives way, it's catastrophic. The body's main blood highway doesn't just spring a leak, it bursts wide open. And in that one moment, absolutely everything changes.
And that brings us to the rupture itself. The scale of this internal bleeding, it is almost impossible to put into words. We're talking about a massive, uncontrolled hemorrhage inside the body.
And this number, well, it tells you everything you need to know. The overall mortality rate for a ruptured aortic aneurysm is a staggering 86%. Many patients don't even make it to the hospital. And for those who do, surviving is, at best, a flip of a coin.
So for that very small chance of survival, everything, and I mean everything, depends on what happens next. The second that patient hits the emergency room doors, the race to figure out what's going on begins, and the pressure on the medical team is just immense.
In medical school, they teach you to look for this classic triad of symptoms: severe pain, low blood pressure, and a pulsing mass you can feel in the abdomen. The problem? It's not always that simple. In fact, it's rarely that simple. This textbook presentation is often missing, which leads to misdiagnoses in anywhere from 16 to 60% of cases. They get mistaken for kidney stones, diverticulitis, and all that time, the clock is just ticking away.
Which leads to this critical dilemma. A CT scan will give you the answer. It'll show you exactly where the rupture is and help you plan the surgery. But when a patient is actively bleeding to death, can you really afford the 20 or 30 minutes it takes to get that scan?
And this is pretty amazing. For the vast majority of patients who actually make it to the hospital, the answer is yes. It turns out that the space behind the abdominal lining, the retroperitoneum, can often contain the initial bleeding just long enough. It kind of puts a temporary lid on the hemorrhage, buying the surgeons that precious window they need to get the images and make the right plan.
And that plan really comes down to a fork in the road. There are two very different ways to fix this, and this is where modern medicine has just completely changed the game.
You see, for decades, there was only one choice. It was pioneered back in 1953, and it was a huge, invasive open surgery. Then, in 1994, everything changed. A new, much less invasive technique called REVAR was used for the first time on a rupture, and it was a total game changer.
So let's break down the difference, because it's huge. With open surgery, we're talking a massive incision down the belly, physically clamping the aorta shut above the rupture and sewing in a new graft. It's incredibly traumatic. REVAR, on the other hand, is done through a couple of small punctures in the groin. Instead of an external clamp, they float a balloon up inside the aorta to stop the bleeding while they deploy a stent graft from within. It is truly a night and day difference in how invasive it is.
So let's quickly walk through it. The surgeons go in through the femoral arteries in the groin, they thread a wire up into the aorta and inflate a balloon to stop that massive bleeding, like putting a plug in a drain. Then they guide the stent graft into position right where the rupture is and deploy it. This graft basically creates a new, reinforced tunnel for the blood to flow through, sealing off the weakened, ruptured wall from all that pressure.
But here's the thing. Making it through the surgery is really only half the battle. The body has already taken a massive hit from the rupture and the blood loss. And then the surgery itself, no matter how it's done, adds a second major stress. The real fight for survival continues long after the patient leaves the operating room.
This is what doctors call a two-hit injury. The first hit is the shock from all the blood loss. The second hit is the trauma of the repair itself. That 1-2 punch can set off a massive inflammatory storm inside the body, and you end up with these staggering rates of complications, especially after open repair. Look at that, multi-system organ failure in 64% of patients. Just incredible.
And one of the most feared complications is this: abdominal compartment syndrome. All that blood from the rupture, plus all the fluids they pump in to save the patient's life, can cause the pressure inside the abdomen to just skyrocket. It gets so high that it literally starts to crush the internal organs, the kidneys, the liver, and it cuts off their blood supply. If it's not treated immediately, it leads to rapid organ failure.
Now, I know this all sounds terrifying, and it is.
But the story here is actually one of incredible progress. Over the last couple of decades, a combination of smarter techniques and, importantly, preventative medicine has really started to turn the tide against this killer.
And here is the proof. This data from a huge Medicare study shows the impact of REVAR crystal clear. The 30-day death rate for patients who got the less invasive REVAR was significantly lower than for those who had to get the big open surgery. I mean, we're talking about a major shift in the odds of walking out of the hospital alive.
But here's the most hopeful part of this whole story, and it's probably not what you'd expect. The biggest win in the fight against this thing isn't just about better surgery. Between 1999 and 2018, deaths from ruptured aortic aneurysms in the United States fell by an unbelievable 60%. And that wasn't because of some surgical breakthrough, it was because of public health. Lower smoking rates and better control of things like high blood pressure mean that fewer of these aneurysms are forming and growing to the point of rupture in the first place.
And for the people who do face this and make it through, that intense, aggressive fight is absolutely worth it. This quote really says it all. Survivors can, and do, go on to have a good quality of life. It makes all the high-stakes effort from the medical teams completely and totally worthwhile.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. While the high-tech drama of fixing a rupture is incredible to watch, the real success story is much quieter. It's the silent victory of prevention. It proves that the absolute best way to win a race against time is to stop the clock from ever starting.